Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning. How is everyone doing this morning? ECB rate hike. Powell speaking in a couple more minutes. So it's been an interesting morning. Not Europe, England, price caps on energy for the next couple years at the household level. We are going to see how all of this plays out. I think the next year and a half is going to be, oh boy, the end of price cap theory. Again, oh, it's going to be fantastic. May we live in interesting times. Look, inflation's not that bad if you take out food and energy. Really? A good thing we don't have to eat or heat or cool or anything else. Good morning, Davey. Right in after the launch. Davey's got the radar. The market radar. Hey, Waka Waka. Thing. We'll take a look at the VIX gapping up. 25.32 pre. And we'll take a peek at that. Give me an update when we get to it because again, on this platform, it's delayed, unfortunately. Good morning, George. Market popping up with so many headwinds. Again, we came out over, so you should be grateful for these market pops, especially with declining volatility. Fantastic for putting on downside positions or portfolio hedges. Good morning, Anissa. Good morning, Eric. Powell's not going to rescue anything, Coco. Good day, Christoph. Good morning, Options 22. A Legion Reavers in the house. Good morning, good sir. A hawkish as you get from the ECB, 75 basis point hike and pledge to keep raising rates over the next meetings. Yes, they were very hawkish this morning. I think their growth rate guidance is absolutely absurd, though. Their real GDP forecasts 3.1% growth in 2022. That's for the rest of this year. 2023, 0.9, 2024, 1.3. Good luck with those growth forecasts. They're smoking the good stuff. They are smoking the good stuff. At least they're hiking rates. But now, with all this with financial support and price caps and everything else that's going to happen this winter, it's like literally you're paddling against the current because you keep going to inject stuff into the system, which is inflationary, and they're going to keep hiking rates. Something's going to give at some point. I don't know what Powell's going to do, but this is pretty much it before the rate hike decision. Good morning, John. I don't think he's going to change his tune at all. He's not going to go dovish. Unless he had some weird coffee this morning. Good morning, John. I'm grateful as I add to my short, especially for fantastic option hedges. You gotta love these dips in the VIX. The VIX is very low for what I think is coming. I think we're going to still see. We should probability-wise see some more upside before a next significant leg down. So let me get whatever they're smoking. You pass it around. I mean, we can all be in a good mood then. At this point, Queen likely passed away. I know there were people heading in because it was why. Well, I didn't see anything that she likely passed unless it just popped. But you know better than me, Waka Waka. I didn't see anything go across in the last 5 minutes. Hello, Lauren. It's not time to buy the dip. It's time to sell it's not even a rip. Okay, let's just get through the stuff. Initial jobless claims coming in slightly better. Continuing jobless claims. My magic number was 1456K, coming in higher than that. Based off of these increased metrics, it's not an absolute number. It's based off of increase from the low base number. We should now another confirming recession indicator. No means is this official because they don't ask me. But however, based off probabilities, we are definitely, again, tipping into a recession. And this one is sooner rather than later. So it's just a matter of fine tuning it now. Again, we have Powell's speech, speaky. Then we got the EIA numbers coming out. Crude slight bounce this morning, and that's about it. Consumer credit change, this afternoon. S&P map pretty red besides a little bounce in oil. Still, I'll be watching for more aggressive plays in oil after we hit that first oil double top target. Right now, we are 84% for the 75 basis points. So I'm going to be watching that in the next hour to see if that starts shifting with Powell speaks at all. Still in negative gamma territory. Remember, zero gamma is roughly 4,100, but we have major put and call gamma at 4,000. So remember that we could see some choppy price action around 4,000. We don't need to go into that this morning. We'll go into that later. Earnings, just for the point of, I didn't even look at fuel, so I was too busy with ECB stuff this morning. Didn't even check on fuel cell. That's going to be very minor. After the close, remember DocuSign, Zscaler, and don't ignore Restoration Hardware, especially their conference call. Little pullback so far. Remember, this triggered a bounce buy for a little follow through. Right now, we're getting the first reaction to the rotation zone. So let's just get to the shorter term. Again, right back to that buy level. I'm still keying off about 39.61. If we continue our downward trajectory, going to see if we get a minor bounce. These are very minor levels, 39.50. If we break through 39.50, target 39.36. But I'm not, right now we got Powell speaking, but I'm going to judge the reaction going into the first 15 minutes. Obviously, the market doesn't like what's going on so far, but again, we're pre-market. Going to really look at it from 8:30 Central to 8:45. We could be a little choppier to the upside, though. Major support 39.19, then 3900. Remember, on any rally now, my key resistance is 4,000. And then 4,012, then 4,031. We are still trying to get out of the cycle bottoms on the daily. That's why we could still see, after the dust settles, a little more upside. Does not mean it has to be strong upside like yesterday. You could get choppy to the upside into the rotation zone to prep us for the next rotation down. And I'm watching for this next rotation down to at least be a retest of the June lows. Do keep that in mind. We might be unfolding a 1, 2, 3. This would be a fourth wave correction, and then a fifth wave push down. Don't cover Elliott all the time in here, but this is setting up nicely for a 5-wave push down. NASDAQ, little pullback. Again, you normally get the first reaction off the rotation zone. Then we'll have to see. Again, I'm only choppy to bullish to the upsides. Key little level it needs to get back through is about 12,263 to me to go choppy bullish off the open. We're going to test the next support level, 12,150. If we do break below that, I'm standing aside into this clear path move until about 12,046 on the bullish side. Cycle's still heading up. Would not be surprised to see a reversal, though, to the upside going into the open. Let's see. Let me get back to some comments. So buy puts on natural gas and crude oil. Also, did the crude oil hit the death cross? Did you believe the death cross is way too late? You generally get a reversal off the death cross moves, a short-term reversal. Puts were already done on natural gas. I covered that. Actually, I covered it on Friday. You could see what I was looking at on the Futures Edge podcast, and that already played out. Unless it triggers the next move down for natural gas, which we can review after. Let me just get through this information. Jay Powell is live. Yep. The Queen under medical watch. Which, if they're broadcasting that, I think it's the time is numbered, and that will be a big thing socially for Great Britain. Powell blamed COVID for inflation. Come on. You know what? How about the financial money you injected? You morons. It wasn't COVID. It was the response to COVID. And long live the Queen. Where do we sit? Just prayers for the Queen. You know, it's NASDAQ to 14K. All right. Whatever, Coco. I agree with that. Gonna have a new king by next week. Let's see. All right. By the way, futures gaps always filled. That's not necessarily true. They're not always filled. There's a high probability of them filling, but they're not always filled. You can't say always. There's no 100%, and always implies 100%. Dow, little pullback here again. First reaction, all these rotation zones. This is why we follow the rotation zone. I'm not going to harp on this. Not going to get bullish on the Dow until it gets back above intraday. Oh, geez, my mouse is acting up. 31.5, 525 roughly, and then 31.618 is the more bullish. Remember, on a pullback, if this does continue into the open, don't get severely bullish based off this pre-market. You are into a clear path move. So if we see momentum into the open, also remember you have this little stopping point about 31.86. And just whether I covered it or not in the S&P and NASDAQ, watch for that little hitch there. Russell and everything, the trading the same. The Russell hitch, if it does pull back, isn't to 1805, 1806 level. Can't get bullish until above 1825. DAX. Again, this looks like it's going to come back to the, this is off the table. No potential double bottom. Rotation back down from the rotation zone. So nothing else besides if we really get some momentum below 12,750. Gonna target 1206. After this little return to the rotation zone, notes moving down. I'm still not doing anything from the bullish side until we at least hit 115.07. And we don't have a strong bottoming pattern yet. Dollar index back to the daily rotation zone, rotating up. No strong topping pattern. This at least took it out of overbought mode. Cycle's still coming back to the bottom. So we could still see a little continued pullback or some sideways movement. The area I'm keying off of is about 110.10 for the next push up. VIX. Again, slight rotation back up. I'm not, again, going to get overly bullish unless we get momentum. I mean, overly bearish until we get above 25.50. We're somebody punching where we're trading right now because this is 15-minute delayed. 25.50 after the opening prices, and that retested and then a rotation upward there. That puts me in short-term bullish going off the open. Even going up to that, not in, I mean, short-term bearish. And even if we break down 24, about 35 is key support. So if we start reversing, we'll stay in choppy bullish above those key levels unless we break below that level, which would make me more bullish. Crude, little bounce play. This would be a bounce play watching for a rollover move. Major resistance back at 86.40 with the declining rotation zone. And the longer term levels are still... You were asking 77.52, so any bounce play would still be for a rollover move. Natty gas doesn't trigger the next key level yet, so I'm watching for a little minor bounce going into that. We'll have to cover metals after. Yen, we got a little pullback, but now plowing up. I'm still expecting longer term for this to hit 148.60 area. Euro, let's just peek in at that. Pretty decent reversal at the other side of the rotation zone. Still pullback now after this move. I'm still targeting 98.50 on that. Bitcoin, we had some stuff from Gary at the SEC talking about the regulation of crypto players this morning, but not a huge reaction. Still expecting this. It hit the 87.5. Still expecting a return to 17, now 582. Then next major target 15,695 once this little bounce in the NASDAQ is over. Tesla, it's like a slight gap down today. Let's see if it can get any juice with the double that's triggered, and then I'd be watching for the continued rollover play. I'm really focusing on this, on any play upside, this 290 before the next rollover play. Where else do we sit? I agree. Only 2 likes should be more. Thank you for typing that, Powell. We need to be influenced. We need not to be influenced by political considerations. Oh boy. 25.69. Okay, so VIX is 29.69. I wish they could get this real time. 25.69 on the VIX. So I will be watching for that pullback on the open, 29.53. If we break back below that, that shifts me if price action can stabilize to choppy bullish. If we retest and then continue higher, that puts me into choppy bearish mode and much more bearish mode above that 26.90. Where else are we sitting? Did I miss some comments? Mike, the third Elliott wave is the most powerful, probably the biggest plunge. Do you know we waver now? Are you talking on the macro or the micro? The micro, we're in wave, looks like we're trying to get a wave 4 of 5 on the micro. On the macro, we don't have a really strong, I mean, if you're looking at this, there's too much overlap. This cannot be a 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 overlapped too much with 2. So we don't have an impulsive move, a major impulsive move down right now. Okay, you don't have a great long-term Elliott wave count. On the short term, you have a 3, potentially 4, then a 5. Now, for the longer term, it's going to have to see how we break through this. That's why there's no clear, fantastic path for an Elliott wave besides a more longer-term corrective pattern down, which is too complex to discuss right now. But it's not an impulsive pattern down. The spiders, again, gap down with the market this morning. The key levels, 393.50 on the pullback is what I'm watching for. And let's see, 395.36. I'll actually, if we get in a slight bullish mode, just be targeting the gap fill up there, then targeting yesterday's high, 398.58. With that, the key support again, 393.52. The double still is in play unless we get a very strong rotation. But again, that's not, you can't say because it is a potential double. It doesn't have to be even confirmed or triggered. This will probably go off the radar screen before it is ever triggered. So that is not something to just get bullish because there's a potential. Q's 296.70. My key support coming in about 296. If we did break below that, 293, but I'm really going to watch that 296 for support. And then the target's going to be this 299.50 area. Then above that, it'll be 301 if the rally does continue. So let's remind me after the close about VUG, VTV, Sterling. All right. With that, I need to do some more prep going into the open. I just want to peek again at the euro, peek at the... Really, let's just take a look at the S&P. So based off this pullback, $39.61 is my minor level into the open, and then my major's $39.75. Above $39.75, if we get the VIX pullback, I can get to choppy bullish. Otherwise, if we stay in bearish mode in the VIX, I'll be watching for a rollover play on any moves back to $39.75. Would not be surprised to see today choppier. Either choppy bullish or choppy bearish after a trend day yesterday. And even on this, let's just double check this 4-hour rotation zone. This major break, the first major breakout area, we've already come down to that area to test, 39.50. So below 39.50, if we do start getting down there, then I'll start watching for the bigger potential choppier pullback to the downside. But as long as that does hold, can't get really, really bearish going into it. With that, I'm going to wrap it up for now. Unless something major happens, I'll just be back after the close today. Everyone, have a don't, again, if you remember, 70-80% of the days are not strong trend days. We had a decently strong trend day, especially yesterday in the afternoon. We got, once Powell's done speaking, we got the ECB out of the way, it could turn into just a choppier day. And also remember, we got the first reaction. Would not be surprised to see us try to hold up for a couple more days before we make the rollover move. All right. We do have some upward pressure still with this reaction. What do you mean when ECB? ECB already announced it. You're welcome, Anissa. They went with a 75 basis point hike about an hour ago at 7:30 Central. So that's what I'm going off of. I will chat with everybody later. Have a great day. Bye.